Hey guys, and welcome back to What If Civilization Started Over. We're on episode 9. I recorded an episode 9. I guess it didn't save. And it didn't save the map either, so it doesn't really matter. I think this is the correct map. Sorry if it's wrong, because then I'd have posted an entirely wrong episode of a week so, but sorry I haven't been posting in a while. I just haven't found the time to. But we'll get right into this. So we'll start over here in Central Asia with a couple countries. So we have this country. It is a country and stuff like that. Now, this country, you don't even know what country I'm talking about, do you? Well, this country, it was formerly part of a country that was called and still is called the Dark Green Team. Now, the Dark Green Team barely exists anymore. They're on the Caspian coast over here in Azerbaijan and Dagestan, I'm pretty sure that's called. But in the Caucasus region, but they don't really exist anymore. But this country that was part of the country that split off from them will begin expanding into areas further into Central Asia as they want to, expand. Let me also erase all this dark green that plagues the coast of this poor country. Doesn't want dark green coasts. That would be kind of weird. But anyway, they will also go over north and push against the border of this rather bordery country and go down here and take everything that they think belongs to them and stuff like that. Let me erase this line. Because they had to reopen it, it's going to have some weird quality borders, but I'll fix that as we go on. And let me just make that border a little bit better. But anyway, this is probably now the largest Central Asian country. And over here, Europe is looking weird, but that's not where we're going. We're going to America. Well, kind of. So, Sweden. You know, Sweden. The country that is in a rivalry with Norway as of, 2 seconds ago. These borders aren't weird. That's weird. But anyway, as of now. So, they will begin expanding down and surround this lake and river, hoping to take control of it and stop the Norwegians from getting it. Though they're actually kind of stopping the English from getting it. So, also just I'm calling them the Norwegians and the Swedish and the English, but they're not actually related to those civilizations at all. That's just what country they resemble, what area they're in. Well, not really what they resemble, but what area they're in. Yeah. So they will begin expanding even farther. They want to control the entire Great Lakes region area, which is what they're doing. They swoop down and completely encircle Lake Michigan and begin encircling um this Lake Superior, maybe? I don't actually know. I just know Lake Erie and Lake Michigan. But anyway, they will completely abolish, abolish, take over all of that. Yeah. And then they'll claim this area of coast, which isn't really relevant to anything, or so we think. But then something happens. Something very, very major. You see this tiny strip of Swedish territory that borders Norway? Well, Norway just marches in and takes it, and then begins expanding like nothing ever happened. They don't do that to these Swedish claims, but Sweden knows something happened. And so Sweden declares war upon Norway, starting a war between these two massive empires. Now, Norway probably shouldn't have done that. Now, they're about kind of equal in strength, though if I had to say one is stronger, I would say Sweden, as well as the Swedish having way more territory than the Norwegians and having a well, the Swedish capital is on this island, I think. Do we actually have a capital there? What is this? I don't know what this is. What is this? Oh, that's the Alliance layer. This layer, is the city layer. Okay. Well, what about capital cities? Is this capital cities? Um, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just going to say that, because this is what I think, Sweden's capital resides upon this island, while Norway's is here. So that is Sweden has the advantage in this war by a lot. And I will be right back because I need to go grab something. I'm back. And stuff like that. So the Swedish march into Norway and take the area where Oslo is in the modern world and begin pouring in to Norway. The Norwegians are like, we didn't tell our troops to do that. Yeah. But then the Swedish march into a pretty important city in Norway up on this island, and they find classified documents there that have orders from the Norwegian president, well, Norwegian king, directly stating, go take over this Swedish part of land, which is um hard evidence against them. So, however, the Norwegians are able to hold them on whatever this is. I don't know, river. However, and the Swedish advance slows as well, just slows because the Norwegians are getting their troops up. This area is very mountainy, so not a very big Swedish push will be made, just taking some areas. However, they will go into the Kola Peninsula area, taking it over, going up here, taking that over, taking that island, and splitting this from mainland Norway. They surround they surround that and begin just working their way around, cutting the Norwegian army into several pieces before taking them. However, the front begins to stabilize with the Swedish taking all of this, but the Norwegians being able to hold out in this end part. Yeah. The Swedish also come up here and do that. What the Swedish wasn't suspecting was stuff. Now let me look at the alliance later. Who is even in alliances? I don't remember. Just these people? Just them? Okay. Okay. That is fine by me. I just wanted to know. That has nothing to do with what's about to happen. What the Swedish weren't expecting is an attack. Now, you might be like, but they're fighting. Why wouldn't they expect an attack? Well, I mean an attack from Finland. As Finnish troops began pouring into Sweden, as they'd signed a secret pact, as they knew that the Swedes would do this. They knew. They just knew it with their life. Are Sweden, Poland, and Finland's colors are so similar, it's mixing me up. Well, anyway, over in America, some war is happening with, well, first we must make a stop in a certain country that is called Iceland. It's a majorly Swedish controlled island, and the Swedish will take the only major city in Iceland, which is right here. They'll march in and take it, and then begin going up, cutting off this peninsula from the rest of it, taking that, going through here, taking it, as well as taking this, for some reason, unclaimed territory, and then make their final attack up into the peninsula and taking it. But now over to America. Sweden knows some stuff. They know that they can take Norwegian Greenland out of the war pretty quickly. There aren't a lot of forces stationed here, and the only population zone which is here, and there isn't even a lot of population there, is quickly seized by Swedish forces, and the entire Norwegian controlled area. The Norwegian royal governor of Greenland surrenders, allowing for complete Swedish control over Greenland. Then in mainland America, some other things will be happening. Swedish troops will cut across the open areas of Canada and head towards Greenland, not Greenland, Norway, cutting these off from unclaimed territory and taking, well, not taking, marching in and pushing them up to this lake where they are told to hold along the water line. Well, the water line with that is a lake or a river. This hold thing goes really well. Not really well, rather well. And they are able to hold that. However, what they weren't expecting is a Swedish landing from this island going up here and beginning to take it. They cut this peninsula thing off from the main Norwegian claim and begin taking this until they have full control of the river and lake there. However, let's take a break from this massive Swedish-Norwegian war to take a look at some happenings in a certain country that is known as China. Actually, they haven't done much since their foundation. China will begin expanding, 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 expanding. But they will take this peninsular go up into the Beijing area, and then move down into Korea, taking a lot of territory. Yeah. They will begin inching down the Korean peninsula until they take all the coastal areas of it and then begin working inland, taking all of that. They take this island and land on the southern Japanese island, but think it's the only major island over here, so they claim all of it and then stop searching around. And then they begin going inland, which they haven't really done. They've been sticking to the coast, but now they see value in going inland, and they take major movements inland until they control all of this. Now, China and the Purple Country, they're friendly. Not this purple country, not the fake purple country, this purple country. Or the Libyan purple country. They are friendly with this purple country, they don't like this country or the lime country. And so these two are planning an attack that will hopefully take these two nations out. But back over here to America, well, no, sorry. Well, they control more territory than America than on Europe, but it is Europe that we will be going to. The Swedes and the Norwegians. The Swedish finally break through Norway's lines and come pouring into Norway. They take the capital of Norway and capitulate their main area. They execute the king, and Norway is destroyed, leading to a peace treaty being signed. Now, let me do the peace treaty and I'll pause it in a sec. And here you have it, the peace treaty. As you can see, all overseas Norwegian land, except this island, I suppose, that, yeah, that got kept. Norway got to keep that. However, the Irish coast that Norway controlled up here, let me make this smaller. The Irish coast that they controlled up here, that went Swedish. All of Norwegian North America went Swedish. Norwegian Iceland is Swedish. Norwegian Greenland is Swedish. This part of Svalbard went to the Swedes. Norway has been pushed back to here. Finland got some territories, but it was just what they occupied and nothing more. And finally, the part of the Kola Peninsula that Norway was able to keep became a new independent country. So yeah. This video will end in a second. There are just a couple things I need to do. Also, did I say sorry for not posting in a while? Well, if I didn't, then I will in just a sec. And if I did, then here's another one. Um, it's just sorry I haven't been posting in a while. It's just like I didn't have time to. Yeah, I couldn't find time to. I think I said that at the start, but I'm saying it again. Also, somebody unsubscribed. Sniff. But anyway, the as you can see, the Italians are pushing up from Italian Florida. They go here and take New Orleans and begin pushing up. And the French meet them there in South Carolina, I think. Maybe that's Georgia. But they begin making their borders with them like that. So yeah, a couple things I'm going to do. So first, there are some countries that you see here. So the Poles. The Germans give them the ability. The ability of what, you might be asking? Well, the ability to set sail, to use their ports. And so the Poles will set sail and they will land here in Panama. Little do they know they're squished between the Italians and the Iberians, but they don't know that because nobody knows what this part of the world looks like. There are a couple other countries who will be making it over here. The Greeks are given access to Italian ports and they'll just go over here. We'll land over here in on the Texan coast over here, and they will take it like so, and they'll meet up with the Italians in Louisiana, and people are starting to know what this continent looks like as their claims are meeting up. So, really quickly, I'm going to show you what they think America looks like. So, just a sec. This is what they currently think America looks like. Now, let's fill it in for them for what they. So, these are what they know it is, but what else do they think it could be like? Well, there could be land, yes. They think there's probably land that looks maybe something like this that goes west and goes all the way west, really. But anyway, yes, that's what they think. They also know that it goes further west up here, but for all they know, that's just a peninsula, like in Alaska. Kind of looks like Alaska. They think that it's probably water here, because that makes the most sense. Probably water there too. So it's probably like this. This is definitely what America looks like. Yeah, totally. This is what America looks like. You can't say it doesn't look like this because this is what it looks like. No, this is nowhere near what it looks like. Well, it's kind of near what it looks like. But as you can see from this map, what they've mostly explored is this eastern coastal areas in the Gulf of Mexico and along the Central American coast, the Caribbean, the northern part of South America, the east coast of America, obviously, the Great Lakes area, and they've gotten out pretty far in here, probably something like that. They also know about this little bit of Pacific coast right here, which is where all this huge weird ocean came from. And then they know about this. So yeah, that is what they think America looks like. And for all they know, it does look like that. So this, as you know, so this is the borders of what they know of North America. Obviously, this is what they've explored, is what is in this. So yeah, that will do it for today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over. Hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Wait, just a sec. I've actually realized this is also I think maybe the first week so episode where we're not taking a look at the Middle East. So, ooh, moving out from the Middle East. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you next time. And also this Middle Ages are still going and trying to reach 100. We're almost there. Please help. Yeah, I don't know why I'm clapping, but thanks for watching and I'll see you next